All right, guys, before we get started, I just wanted to do a few housekeeping things. As I'm sharing my screen with you, some of the things on my screen might look different from yours. So I wanted to point them out to you, show you how to do them if you want to, but they're completely optional. So when you go into Canvas, you'll be pulled up to your dashboard. Now, my courses might look different from yours. Your courses might look like this. And so if you would like to get rid of what they call the color overlay, you're going to go up to dashboard. You're going to go to the three dots across from it, click on it, and unclick the color overlay. And then your course cards will be without that color overlay that I just really don't like. The next thing you might notice is that I have maybe some fewer cards than you do, some course cards. They're going to keep all of your current classes, but also any of the classes that you are taking currently on your dashboard. So if you go to courses and you go to all courses and you put stars beside the ones that you want visible on your dashboard, then you can have everything right there that you want. It's not deleting the other ones. They're just not going to be right there when you sign in. I will say as a warning, even though the elementary ELA, math, science, and social studies might not be ones you go to all the time, and you might be tempted to put those away, they're actually coming out with a lot of the important information and updates, and it's actually where I'm seeing a lot of useful things for me. So classes that aren't active right now or you haven't looked at in a while, go ahead and put those away. But I would suggest not putting these out of sight because they have had some pretty important stuff. So this is now how my dashboard looks like this. The next thing is once you have clicked on the class that you're going to go to, you might notice that my fonts and my pictures look a little bit different. I'm in what they call elementary mode. So when you go to settings, you'll have these files up here, and you're going to go to feature options, and you're going to toggle on the Canvas elementary theming. It makes the font easier for kids to read, a little bit bigger spacing, and the images are just a bigger ratio. So you can try it out and see if you would like to do that, but I would suggest if you want to do it now, just so as you're setting everything up, your formatting and everything is consistent. So those are the things that I have done prior to starting. From here on out, I'm going to walk you through as if I've never been in this course before. It's a completely empty course. And so those were just the few things that were changed before we get started. All right, we are going to be downloading our Guilford County shells. From your dashboard, you are going to pick the course that you would like to import the shell to. For non-departmentalized, I would suggest your homeroom class. So this is a homeroom class that has nothing in it now. And so what we want to do is we want to get our teacher binder, our lesson plan book for the whole year. The shell does not have any content. It's the format, but it is for the whole year. So it might look like you're importing one page, but they have linked in. It's essentially your teacher binder for the year, and now we're going to fill it with content and quizzes and assignments. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to go to the Commons. The top row is featured for Guilford County. We want the Guilford County non-departmentalized. You're going to click on that. Don't worry about anything over here. You're just going to want to import this. We're going to send this from the Commons to our page we want. And so we're going to do the homeroom one. Now it says it's going to take a few minutes. So you're just going to head back to the dashboard, go to the course that you imported it to, and then we're going to get started on the next step. All right, so once you've given it a time to download from Commons, you're now looking at the elementary shell. The way to look at this is you now have a plan book that's empty, but all the pages are there, and the pages have writing on them. So I can't rip a page out because there might be other pages paperclip to that page, and I would lose all of it, and the kids wouldn't be able to find it. So the shell is there, and you're going to be adding to it content. So they have made this page your home page. You know that when you go to pages and you go to view all pages, it's going to give you a list. Now this is just the pages in the shell. And you could maybe potentially add 10 to 12 pages to create a week's worth of work or content. So later on, when we're talking about titling things that you're adding, pages and stuff, that's why it's important to keep track of what you're naming stuff in. And I find it helpful to use the date first, just because this is just from the shell alone has this much information. So there's a lot there. So from the front page, this is the modules they have set up. So the first module is essentially everything that goes with the home page. Those buttons on the front, things like that. And then they have it by month and each week. And so you'll be putting everything you need for that week underneath that weekly overview page. So all of that is there and all of it is linked together already. We're just going to add stuff to it and make sure they're connected. So before you start adding things to it or customizing this, at Pierce, we are going to make one additional change to the home page that is going to make it easier for students to navigate and less clicking for them. So the next thing we're going to do is add a specials button. Okay, so what we're going to do is Pierce is going to add to the home page of the shell a button where students will be able to access all of specials. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to add an image that then we can link in order to help us get to specials. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to edit on the home page. You're going to take this skinny waffle and pull it down so you can see more. When you're in edit mode, this is our content rich editor. That's where we're going to make all of our edits from. You'll notice that below the 4 buttons, there is a blank space. We're going to click in that blank space. This cursor seems to be centered. What I have found is what you see in edit mode and what you see when it's live is very different. So I don't trust it because I didn't hit center. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to hit center on my alignment. And now I know that my cursor is centered. So now is when you're going to need the image that I sent to you, which is just a Google Draw image of the button that you're going to use. So I'm just going to go to my desktop and put that in as a image. And so then when I look up here, these 4 buttons that are together are all of the buttons that I will use to add anything to my page, because essentially I can't copy and paste when I'm dealing with the internet. So I'm going to have to use one of these tools in order to get anything besides just regular typing on my page. I can add a link, I can add a picture, I can add media, or I can add a document. So right now, we're adding a picture that will become a link later. So I'm going to upload that image. I'm going to remember where I saved it, which is often my problem. Okay, and so that PNG is ready. And so it's going to download here. Okay, so now I'm going to remember that I'm in edit mode and scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit save. All right, so now you have an image on your home page. This is an image because it doesn't have a link to it. That hand is there, the arrow is there. So our next step is to connect this to a page. All right, so when you are out of edit mode, you go to your home page now, and you should notice that below the 4 buttons, you now have a specials image. Let's make that a button. I'm going to need to go in So in order for me to connect an image and link it to anything, I have to have it created. So I have to know what the video is, or I need to know where the website is. And if I want it to connect to a page or an assignment within my course, I have to create that first. So that's what we're going to do. Now, you guys don't have to make anything. You're going to get this out of Commons again. You're going to go to the Commons. You're going to need to go up into the search bar, and you're going to hit search for Peer Specials. Now, when you guys are doing this step, there will be 6 different options that will come up. Make sure you're picking your grade level because they are going to be linked directly to the specialist courses that they're teaching this year. So you're going to want to find your special, click on it. You're going to want to import it. Make sure you're importing it to the same class that the shell is in. You're going to import that. And it was called Peer Specials 3rd grade. So now I'm ready to go back to the dashboard. I can go to that class. Before I try to link it, I'm going to check pages and make sure it's in there. So when I go to pages, it shows me the home page, but if I click up here to view all pages, that's where I'll get my list. And it was Peer Specials 3rd grade. Okay. One thing I noticed that is not published, so I am going to publish it. I know that a lot of the errors that I would get last year were because something wasn't published. So I try to publish whenever I remember. So let's go to home. All right, the hard part's almost done. We got this. So we're going to edit again. We're going to take the skinny waffle. All right, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that this button is linked to the page that's going to show us the specials list. So you're going to click on it, okay? When you have the 4 blue squares on the corners, this image is selected now. So we want to link it. So I'm going to hit the chain link fence. External link would be if I were linking it to like ABC Mouse or I can't even think of anything right now, like Khan Academy or something. It would take them outside of their Canvas page. So we want them to go to the page we just got from Commons. So then you're going to hit pages. And this again is why titling it's very important. So I know that the page I'm looking for is Peer Specials 3rd grade. So I'm going to click on that. All right. And it changed from image to link. So I know that it linked to something. I'm going to want to check it afterwards. But now I'm ready to go down and hit save. Make sure you're hitting save after editing it all. Okay. So now I'm at my home page. Let's go ahead and hit the specials button and see where we go. Yay. All right. So you're going to be linked to a specialist banner. It's going to tell the students about their specials. They are going to click on the special. And I am not a student in Miss McLamb's class yet, so that is why it didn't work there. But it will essentially take them to all of the specials pages. So they are told on that homepage in order to get back to your homeroom, they'll just hit the dashboard and go to your homeroom. And so we're trying to do the work for you by making that page, but then also by linking them already. So it might not be ready Monday because everybody's courses might not be loaded, but you can put the button in, and the only thing you'll have to do later is go to Commons and get this page. That's not an extra step. Would rather have all of the links working and everything, any kinks worked out before we give you the page. But definitely go ahead and you can insert the button so you can see how your front page will look. And then once we have everybody's links, we'll be able to go from there. But this is going to be so that the kids don't have to click into all the different course cards for all the different specials. They can get to them through their homeroom page. All right, so 2 more kind of general things that we'll talk about, and then you should go play with this as much as you'd like. But customization and personalization and content. So customization and personalization, this is essentially the shell. I know McLam has said it. I know I say it. There is no undo. There's Control Z. And there's over here, view page history. But sometimes I click and things move away so fast that doesn't help me. So I would be very leery to do anything with buttons that are linked somewhere else, because sometimes you don't know where that's attached to. So let's look at the things we can change. And so I just want you to look. I know that we say that maybe the colors aren't what we wanted or this and that, but so this is the elementary one. Okay, so this is the one, my true homeroom, that I've been working in, and we'll probably change 12 more times before then. So a lot of it's the same, but changing this banner up here is something that can really customize this for you. All of the pages behind these 3 buttons you can change to make your own. Do not delete the Guilford County bar because that is attached to a home button. And when they're using the different pages, that button has already been linked back. So it is a working button. Okay. So any of the text here you can edit and change. The Meet the Teacher, if you look at the expectations, is to have a video and give some personal information. So you can make that whatever you'd like. So I have a flip book here where I can insert my welcome video. I have my contact information about me. I have a student teacher this year, so I put information about her. So you can make this customized. It's still having all the stuff that they wanted, but I did make it mine. The getting started, I haven't decided. I have a lot of things. I'm not sure what I want to go here. But I did want to tap in here because there's something in here that's super important that I think could get lost. Important login information. When you click that, it takes you to all of the places that students have access to, and it tells them what their password and student, their ID is, along with the links that will take them directly there. So I feel like this is super important, but could get lost in the website. So it's under getting started, the click here. So I have a filing cabinet slideshow that has useful information. I'm thinking that it's going to go here. I just don't like the name of the button being getting started, but I will work through that. And then I also have not decided about the live teaching time, what I want to go here and how I want it to look. So you have a lot of freedom with those, and you have several different ways that you can edit them. The other thing is your calendars. Each calendar has a heading, a banner that is totally customizable. So the next video, the last video, is going to be about content, and that's where this comes in. This is, I call it the agenda page or the week at a glance page, but that's where the majority of your content is, and that's where we're going to suggest that you and your grade level spend a lot of time thinking about how you're going to make that doable for you guys and for the students, because that's the part that I feel like is the most overwhelming. So banners, content, transitions, things like that that aren't live linked are things that you can customize to make this your own.